Hi, my name is Adam Larrabee, and I'm head of the guitar department at James Madison University School of Music. And I'd like to talk today about phrasing and articulation of jazz melodies, as well as a little bit about how deciding which fingering we're going to use for these melodies based on the CAGED or CAGED system. A brief primer on the CAGED system. And you can Google this, and there's going to be plenty of videos about how to play scales and arpeggios and chords and stuff, but I just want to explain what it means. CAGED is an acronym of sorts, meaning that we take the C open position chord, the A open position chord, the G, the E, and the D, that's the CAGED, and move it up the neck to find different positions for the same chord. And they happen to ascend in the order that that acronym is spelled, which means for the key of C major, C, C in the A shape. You see how that looks like the A chord just slid up? Lots of different ways to play this. Basically kind of pretending like I've got a capo on the 3rd fret, or I'm starting the, making the instrument shorter with my index finger. Then C in the G shape, C in the E shape, C in the D shape, and finally the same one we started in closed, which is the one I have in the handout. I start with this one rather than use open strings. For minor, if I lower the 3rd of that C, I can't get both of the major thirds lower, so I'm just going to do a 3-note or sometimes a 4-note chord. Then the A minor shape for C minor is this, the bar chord. The G major was this, so the G minor shape lowers this 3rd. I can't play the 2nd and 1st strings very well because of the B string. The 2nd string has another 3rd, so I'm just playing that as a 4-note chord. Then there's the E shape made minor, and then finally the D shape made minor. Sometimes for the D shape, people put the 3rd in the bass. So there's, right, instead of having a high 12th fret, there's our major 3rd. We could do below as well. There's C minor, C minor, C major, all in the D shape. So those are our basic CAGED positions, and their scales and arpeggios. You should again Google this, check it out, talk about it with your guitar teacher. I might even put another video or two up about this because it's a great way of organizing where the notes are. For example, right, if you had a C chord in the A shape, there'd be a scale, as well as an arpeggio, as well as jazz or extended arpeggios based on that position. Same thing for C in the E shape, a scale, all in the position around that shape, as well as triad positions or 7th chord or 9th chord positions. And that's not what this video is about, but it's worth checking out for sure. Okay, Groovin High. How are these CAGED positions going to help us figure out how to play in Groovin High? Well, first of all, listen to Groovin High. If you have a copy of the real book or a chart on Groovin High or can find one, listen to Dizzy Gillespie's version of Groovin High and follow along with the chart so you can see what kind of melody we're dealing with. This is a classic bebop tune. It's a contrafact, meaning a melody written over chord changes to a previously existing tune. In this case, the song that it's a contrafact of is Whispering. If you can find a version of Whispering and then compare it to the chords in Groovin High, you'll notice that they're identical. So Dizzy Gillespie's Groovin High is a great jazz bebop melody, has some twists and turns in it, and we're going to use the CAGED system to figure out which positions to play the melody in. For example, well, let's stop the video now. Listen to Groovin High. Okay, are you back? Did you listen to it? There was that brief introduction, and then this melody occurs. And I'll play it for you here. What I want you to see when I play through it is how I'm using slurs to imitate the slurs Dizzy Gillespie was using, and I'm using shifts to find common chord shapes to readdress the fingerings. I'm also constantly moving my arm down and up, almost like a drummer would play a ride cymbal, so that all of the downbeats are down picks and all of the up picks are up picks. That helps my rhythm. Even during the rests, I'm moving my hand so that when I come in on time. So the down pick, like a down bow symbol above the first note, is a down pick, and the up bow symbol on the end of one is an up pick. In bar 3 on the A minor, I'm coming in on an upbeat because it's the end of 1, which means I come in on an up pick. Down doesn't hit anything, up hits it. So my hand is constantly sort of playing the drums. Almost like the Freddie Green style that we talked about in a previous video of constant time. So here's Groovin High. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. What a cool melody, and not very easy really. I need to use these slurs not only to make it easier on my right hand, but also when I hear the trumpet play this, I can hear that not every single note is articulated. Wind instruments use their tongue to stop the airflow. Dot, 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 dot. When we pick on guitar, we actually have to do something extra to continue the airflow or to have there be a smoothness between notes. And that's done through slides, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. In the jazz swing language, very often these slurs happen from the end of the beat to the downbeat. So as opposed to going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, swing would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So in bars 3 and 4, for this A minor D7 line that gets transposed throughout Groovin High, you'll notice I go 1 and 2, slide. I'm using a slide, a pull-off, and another ascending slide, plus a hammer-on pull-off to smooth out the articulation and make it swing just a little bit more. It also makes it a lot easier to play faster. 1. Almost no way I could pick that, especially the very fast 16th note triplet. So I'm using hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides in a systematic way in order to get my phrasing to come through. And did you notice in the rests, my hand for the most part was continuing to move so that I could enter in on the right down or up beat. This takes a lot of practice, but it's really, really worth doing to work on your time. How do the caged shapes factor in? Well, E flat in the C shape gives me my fingering, index, and ring. If I did it in the A shape, or the G shape, or the E shape, or up the octave, whichever position I choose to find the chord in, there will always exist a nearby in the position melody. Rather than just finding the melody anywhere, I always try to see these chord shapes. It'll help me a lot with improvising on the tune later and make a little bit of sense of why those melody notes work with the chord. For example, A minor in the E shape is where I get my fingering and position for this. And those last two notes fit into D major in the A shape. These are literally the same fingers, 3, 4, 1. Then you're back to E flat here. Now this is the same thing we did with the A minor, G minor in the E shape, and C in the A Notice how I'm fingering this. 1 and 2 stay there. My ring finger does the hammer-on pull-off so that I can stay in position rather than hopping back and forth with my second finger. Now for the F minor lick in bar 11, I'm borrowing from the D shape. Here's F major in the D shape. Here's D, E flat, E, F major, F minor. So my melody is winding up in the G shape, G, G, G sharp, A, B flat in the G shape. There's G minor in the E shape. F sharp minor only has 2 notes, but I'm basing it off of this shape. Instead of sliding down here, which I could have done, I'm choosing to play F minor back in the D shape. This is a repeat in the B section. Now the last 4 bars are F minor in the D shape. Don't forget those slurs, 1, 2, and 3. I know I went through that kind of fast, but what I'd like to point out is I'm not trying to get the entire song in the same position. I'm trying to go phrase by phrase and find positions that fit the chord above the melody so that I can see how they fit into the caged system and then improvise in those positions later. If I was going to improvise on the song, I could use this position I started in. That's all in the E flat. A minor. That's from the D. Same thing with the G minor, C, the F minor becomes, that's just basically a hand in the exact same spot that it was for the melody because of how it fits the chord. As a challenge, you can try taking some other songs. I'd recommend maybe Tenor Madness by Sonny Rollins, a B-flat blues, and see how the various different positions fit with the chords. What is it? Now for the C minor, it's right in this, and that's F, right? Or up the octave. I'm starting in a B-flat position to find an option for fingering the melody, paying really close attention to articulations and slurs, keeping my right hand moving for swinging, and then listening to the recording so that I can get an idea of where those articulations are, rather than just working right off of the sheet music, or in the case of some situations, tablature. Another thing you can do is take Groovin High and try to figure out how to play it up an octave, meaning where it sounds. Remember, the guitar is a transposed instrument. So instead of playing it down, I could find E flat in the A shape and play the A minor line out of the D shape. F minor I might play out of the G shape. Then the G minor licks out of the A shape. So is this. So is the F minor out of the A shape. It makes a big difference how you play something. Just getting the right rhythms and just getting the right notes are not going to be enough. It's important to listen to the recording and work on articulation, as well as work on pick direction and see caged chord shapes where those melodies exist so that we can improvise on them based on those exact same positions. I hope you found this helpful. I know this is a little bit advanced in some respects, but it should give you some food for thought the next time you have to work out a challenging jazz, bebop melody, or even any challenging melody of any style. Enjoy.